Hello, my beautiful badgers, Messi Coda back again with another fantastic live dev interview. This time with the 3Ms Creative and Expanse, that volumetric skies, clouds, and atmosphere system for, get ready, HDRP. No, don't run away screaming. HDRP is actually good now. It's true. Sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a moment. Everybody's sitting at home in front of your Google Watches, your Amazon mirrors, your Alexa PCs, and your microwave computers. Give a warm and messy welcome to Brad Guzman, the creator of Expanse and the founder of the 3Ms Creative. I like to call them the 3Ms Experience over on the Unity Asset Store. Welcome to the stream, buddy. First time in.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited to be here. Yeah.
Before we delve really in to the fact that how a 9-year-old was able to create something so amazing, what is the 3Ms Creative?
Honestly, Unity just has you come up with the publisher name, and I decided that I would come up with a name that wasn't my name. 3Ms is from the book Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson, and it stands for he says in that book, you know, it's a sci-fi dystopian future or whatever, and he says America is good at three things in this imaginary world: music, movies, and microcode.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was kind of fun. So yeah, it's not inspired by the tape brand, if you were wondering that.
I've got no idea. Oh, hang on. For some reason, you had a big grey thing over your head.
Is that the water glass?
No, it was
Or,
Unity.
no?
Unity just decided to hide you.
Okay,
I don't know
that's all
why.
right. They're after me. They're after us. They're mad.
Unity was like, no head for you. Well, I would never have guessed that because I've got no idea what that is. I've never heard of that book or that author.
It's a good book. Yeah, he's really good. He's like a speculative fiction author. Yeah, if you're looking for something to read. Yeah.
If I'm looking for something to read, you're very sweet in thinking that I can actually read anything. There you go. I'm gonna put this window up instead. Because
cool.
There you go. That's giving you more honor because that's the big one. And that way, when you start to share your screen, that would work as well. Because you're gonna share your things to me, aren't you?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I mean we can go back and forth too.
Yeah.
If you want to try stuff out. We'll kind of go. Yeah, we'll just play it by ear, whatever.
So I want to show people your page on the Asset Store a moment because it's a very important reason to show them that.
Okay.
The reason, hang on, for some reason you're frozen on the.
Oh yeah, I'm totally frozen on the stream.
Got no idea why.
Oh, okay.
It's on a 50% sale.
Yeah.
So if anyone didn't realize, it's a 50% sale right now. From, hang on, let me put this in. Let me put this in shekels, so people can see. It's normally $120, which is, it's on the more expensive side of your assets on the Asset Store, but it's at that price range where people would say it's the feature-rich working asset price range that it started to come up. People have stopped doing the underpriced make my game for $10 on the Asset Store.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, for one thing, it's on sale all the time, so people buy it on sale. I do think like $120 is the price that it's worth, but it's on Unity has you do sales honestly like once every 2 months, and so most people end up getting the asset for $60.
And you were in a big sale, weren't you?
Yeah, the lightning sale. Yeah, that was a crazy experience. I mean, totally great, and that we got a lot of new users. That was awesome. But it was handled a little bit. I don't want to say poorly, but there's just some unexpected stuff.
No, you can say poorly. It's fine.
Well, I don't want to bash. I mean, like you know, the people at Unity are doing a lot of stuff that makes my life easier, right? So when they screw up one thing, like it's kind of like I don't want to complain about just that, you
They
know.
do they do
Uh,
a lot of good. They do a lot of good work. They're not
yeah,
perfect, but nobody is.
yeah,
However,
um,
Brad, it's always nice to complain, right? Don't
yeah.
don't don't put down on the complaint. Complaining is fun.
Well, it's very fun to complain. Yeah, yeah. And I think the gist is what happened with the Lightning sale is that they said that you were going to sell 20 copies at 10% of the asset price, and then like 50 copies at 80%, and then 400 copies at 70, which is already a huge discount.
Wow.
And eating out a lot of your sort of like possible target market. Because when you sell a product like this, like realistically, how many people out there in the world are actually going to buy it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
maybe a couple thousand, right? So if you sell 400 copies at 70% off, that's a huge chunk of people who are in your market who are getting it for a significantly discounted price. But I was kind of like, let's just do it. Like it'll be kind of fun. Like we'll see what happens. They had a line in the initial email that said, there's a chance that you'll sell a few more copies than 20, 50, and 400 due to like a programming bug. We don't think this is going to be a big deal. I ended up selling 100 copies for $12
No
instead of
way.
20 copies. So, and I emailed them later and I was like, guys, like, this isn't a small discrepancy. I just sold 100 copies of my asset at 90% off, and that's kind of not cool. And they were like, sorry, we can't do anything. It's over. And I was like, you can't fight them on that, right?
Oh my
So,
gosh.
so
That is
yeah,
that is a pretty big thing to complain about, though.
it was crazy. It was nuts. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing that if it comes around next year or next time something like that happens. Um, I mean, and look, if it was my choice, I would just give Expanse to everybody for free, right? But like, we gotta like put bread on the table, right? So, you know, um, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So yeah, exactly. Yanni said the maintenance that's going to come from those numbers.
exactly. We've had a huge influx of new users, which has been great. Like, I'm super happy that more people are using Expanse. People are making super cool stuff with it, but I'm only one guy, so it's definitely put a lot of. It was a very sudden, lots and lots of support requests coming in. It was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Wow. That. Do you know what? At that point, um, I would turn around and tell those people, you're no longer getting support.
Yeah.
Thank you for your purchase. Congratulations for getting it in the Lightning sale. You purchased the asset. The Lightning sale doesn't come with support.
Yeah, that's not a bad policy. Um, I think that I'm slow enough with stuff already, and also people are very considerate about what they ask for that it was crazy, but I should have been able to spread it out, so I got lucky. But in a different community that's not as like nice and amazing as the one that I have, it could have been disastrous.
The sad thing is, Lucky Ninja says, creators getting away with cutting off support
Yeah.
without removal from the asset store. Yeah, but in this case, I would actually encourage it.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it's totally nuts to release an asset and then just full on remove support for it without deprecating it, because Unity's pipelines are changing so much that
Yeah,
like if you can't guarantee that it's compatible with the latest version, it's kind of like you're sort of fooling people by selling it
yeah,
to
but
them,
Brad,
you know?
even Unity's own HDRP assets don't support HDRP.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm not sure how anyone else is supposed to cope.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, luckily right now it seems like people don't have too many complaints, so I think things are being managed okay for at least for Expanse now. Um, but yeah, the whole Lightning deal thing, it was crazy. I think that they didn't even know what they were getting themselves into, uh, as is often the case with Unity's various projects. So I
I
don't know.
can't believe that there might be a slight discrepancy where you might sell one or two more than 20. Hello, Unity. I seem to have sold 10,000 copies at $1. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm sorry. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, what are they? The other thing though is like, what are they gonna do? Like, are they gonna come in and bankroll the extra cost for all those copies, right? Like, I would have hoped they would, but I don't. I just that's probably not something that they can do.
Well, and how
Without
much of that did you actually get in your pocket? Because do they still take 50% of that sale price?
they take 30%. So I got like probably for each of those copies, I got like $9
Wow.
Yeah, instead of what I would usually get, which is like 90, right? So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was happy to give 20 people the chance to get Expanse for
Yeah, but
less,
100. I mean,
but 100
I
is
don't want to be. I don't want to be like really bringing you down, but you might as well just close up shop now and jack it in. It's done.
I think it's
it's
over.
over. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna quit, honestly.
Yeah. There's nothing else you can do with a situation like this.
I'm gonna go to this place in the background and become a fisherman.
Do you know? I'm not going to say conspiracy theory, but here's a conspiracy theory. Unity did it on purpose to try and take you down because your clouds are so much better than theirs.
I'm not gonna say. I have no reply. Yeah,
So-
I have to tread. I have to tread carefully in that department. I think. Yeah.
that's the best answer you can give. Don't worry. So the org says, let's get this straight. Publishers lose money in support, and Unity make more money because of their bug. Yep, exactly. That's right. So it says,
Well,
no.
Unity's also losing money too because those 80 copies that sold at the lower price, they get less money as well. If those copies had sold at the full price, their sort of tariff or whatever, or cut that they get would increase too. So usually the relationship is good because it works synergistically, right? But we both want to sell more copies at a reasonable price. This time I think they were just lazy. I don't really know what happened,
And the fact that they're not offering help afterwards is just nuts.
Yeah, they're usually very supportive. I mean, the main point of contact, his name is Andrew, is like a super nice guy, and you can tell he's kind of stressed out all the time because there's all these angry publishers emailing him all the time, about stuff. So
His hair's
I'm not.
falling out.
Yeah, I'm not super upset about anything, but I think it's just kind of it was just sort of a poor idea, just in conception.
So the org points
Yeah.
out, no, they're not. Many of those people would not have bought at a high price. Support is not a fixed cost. I would be taking them to court. Wow,
I can't afford to do
and
that.
that's the thing. They can afford to pay.
Sora the Orc, if you want to bankroll my lawyer, we can do it.
Yano says the people who wouldn't buy at a higher cost are often the ones who don't read documentation. We've learned this week in interviewing asset publishers that even those who create the assets don't read documentation themselves. Lurkingninja.com says, on the grand scheme of things, vast majority of assets bought and sell will never be used, hence won't require support. Yeah, that's like me. I buy it and put it in a cupboard. So it says Andrew is awesome. The company is screwing publishers. We're not afraid to say it on here, Brad. This is why we're not sponsored by Unity. I did have Unity come on for an interview, and they were lovely. Who we had on, but I did tell them that we love using Unity, but it is somewhat like being in an abusive relationship that you feel you can't leave. And every time you're going to leave that abusive relationship, they go, look, I'm going to change. I didn't mean it. It's going to be different this time. And then you believe them, and then you sit down, and the cycle repeats again. You don't need a lawyer, Sasora, at least not under UK law, not as familiar with jurisdiction. Unity all Scandinavian law, don't they?
I have no idea. You guys know better than I do.
And you're in the US.
Yeah, I'm in the US. Yeah.
But you would be used to
have
suing, don't you? Like when you wake up in the morning, you sue someone just like out of habit. Is that an American thing?
That's usually how things work. And then I go and buy a bunch of GameStop stock, and then
and sell a few NFTs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Unity's in California. They've got I think it's where their main head office is, where their jurisdiction is. Yeah, Copenhagen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know they have a big location in San Francisco. Yeah, you're right. They
I,
have a
I love this. This is
location.
exactly how you thought this interview was going to go.
Let's talk. Does anybody want to bust open the contract and we can read the fine print and see what we can really do? I can pull up the EULA.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Honestly, though, it is interesting. It's a little bit cool. It's a little bit validating to hear people are like, it's not. This was kind of uncool.
No, everyone in chat is on your side. Everyone is on your side on this.
Yeah.
There isn't a single
whatever,
person that's gone, "What are you whining about? Your girl's blouse."
Yeah.
So yeah, don't worry about it. Actually reading the EULA, who does that? It's like the same people who read documentation of an asset. No one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I have to tell you, I opened up Expanse and I did not read any documentation.
Well, you also told me that you imported it and then you closed the project.
Yeah.
So
no, I imported it. I lied. I imported it, opened the demo scene when this doesn't look like the video on the asset store page. Then I closed it. So
fair enough.
There you go. Shall I pop inside?
Do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go. Now, the first thing I'm going to notice when I pop in is this dirty, horrible, dirty thing on the right-hand side that says high definition render pipeline. Filth.
Yeah, get out of there.
Now let me share my screen with you on Discord.
Yeah, do that. Right? I can see it on the Twitch stream.
But you don't want that delay.
No.
And I won't do to you what you did to me earlier, which was share the application. I'm tempted to do it just so you can see. You know what? I'm going to do it so you can see what painful it is. To see how painful.
Okay, yeah, do it. Let's do it for 10 seconds. That way I can see the inspector window.
All right. So
I have to click watch stream. Okay, I'm going to watch. Click watch.
So you ready?
I can see it.
Everyone at home can see it normally. So this is just for me and Brad. This is our special time.
Okay.
These has I see HDRP. Right, tell me when you can see it.
You're totally right. I can only see the focused window, so I can see scene view right now. But if you go to the inspector,
what are you looking at now?
I'm looking at you underneath the cheap ass model of Manhattan that I put in the demo scene. Cheap ass meaning free from Turbo Squid.
Turbo Squid. Can you see now? It's the light. It should be the lighting window now.
I saw it for 2 seconds, but now I'm back to scene view.
Oh, there you go. See. Now that's punishment, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's what I would call terrible.
All right, so let me go.
Oh yeah, look at that. Now I'm in the project settings view. Oh no.
All right, let me stop that.
Garbage.
This is why you shouldn't be giving them your money.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, this is Discord. Oh yeah, this is why I shouldn't give Discord my money. Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Inception.
Maybe if I paid them, then it would work correctly.
What can you see now?
I can see a long hallway of my face.
I want to show this to everyone at home. 1 second.
Extending out ad infinitum.
That is beautiful.
It's fun because when I turn my head, it takes a to percolate down through the hallway.
One Brad wasn't enough.
No. Okay, now I got the whole thing. Perfect.
All right, so let me catch up where we are in chat. Desert Tiger, hi, did I miss much? We haven't given away any prizes or any gifts because it turns out everyone who owns a copy of Unity must already own a copy of Expanse because it sold 1 million copies at $1 on the Unity Asset Store.
A billion actually.
Yeah. Chris says, would be nice if we could use Expanse skies from built in.
I agree, that'd be pretty nice.
It's like somebody else said something to you earlier today.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
so
that'd
first,
be super.
Are you going to do it? You're not, are you?
No.
Let's not even kid about it because it's too sensitive a subject for people like me and Chris. You're not going to do it on build. You're not even going to do it on URP, are you?
No, it's pretty much it's not like it's impossible. It is possible. It requires basically there's some small amount of code that can be shared, the rest of it is maintaining 3 different code bases for each render pipeline and building conversion kits. When you do this for some assets, it's not that hard. When you do it for an asset like Expanse, that basically does a bunch of custom, compute shader invocations and then has to plug into the render pipeline at a different spot for each one of those things, it's like more or less it's just a total pain that I don't have time for. I already have enough
If you
on my
would do
plate
it,
just supporting HDRP.
I would
Yeah, if it
say
was easy.
sell it as a separate asset.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That would be the thing to do, and then because it would be in a separate asset's worth of development work to make it
Yeah.
work.
Oh my gosh. Dowie says, I missed that $1 sale checking Messi on eBay. Actually, believe it or not, Brad was telling me earlier before the stream when we were doing the test call, there were people who purchased it in that lightning sale and have then been selling it illegally as as pirated copies. So not even the fact that they were giving away illegal copies on pirate sites like most people do, they were selling copies of Expanse.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's a very interesting resale business. You pay. It's. I don't really know how much money you're gonna make doing it. If you buy it at 12 and sell it for 5, you make maybe like $50 selling 10 copies. Uh, but yeah, uh, that sucks. Please don't do that.
Yeah, no, I mean that made my blood boil. And as when I heard that, I was like, no, exactly. Chat's like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I'm sure
crazy.
other developers have had similar experiences because Unity doesn't really do anything um to protect your IP. And I guess they're not really incentivized to, right? Because asset store profits make up such a small portion of what they actually make as a company. I don't know. I don't know.
Until all assets
Yeah.
are locked down, right? And like it's impossible to read any of the code in an asset, which makes it pointless for most people who are wanting to get an asset and then modify it or learn from it. And the
Yeah.
only way an asset works is if your licensed copy of Unity unlocks it in the project. Then yeah, it's kind of pretty much impossible, isn't it? It's one of those things you got
Yeah,
to deal
and
with.
that's what's gonna have to happen, right? I mean, the thing is people are always, as long as it's open, open source, the assets are visible source, you're always gonna be able to, copy them and distribute them freely, right? So it's a challenging problem to solve. It's not even like Unity doesn't it's not just that Unity doesn't want to solve it. It's that how are you even going to do that? And you're right, the open source part of it is part of what makes it cool. You can buy an asset and then you can change it to do what you want.
Do you
Um,
find people who've contacted you saying that they're customizing and changing Expanse for different use cases?
a number of people have, yeah, and they've done some cool stuff to make it work for what they want to do. Um, in building it, I've tried to accommodate a number of different use cases, but some people, they want to do something particularly special. They have to sort of make some adjustments, and it's really cool to see people doing that. Yeah.
Oh, where's your head gone on my thing? Hang on, I've lost your
Oh,
head.
I'm out. Oh, we're back to
Oh,
this
back
now.
to that. Hang on, now if I switch, you know what? Let me. Here you go. That's
I
better.
like I
So
like that thing.
yeah. So if I keep you back to this one, here we go. So you're up here. You look beautiful up there the way you are,
Great.
and then
Up above the
sky,
window,
yeah, up above the streets and
up above the
houses.
sky.
Brad's flying high. Now, I've been asked to open up the graphics page because, as I say, this is all I've done is put in a new project. I've selected HDRP and imported in Expanse. I've done nothing. So I've done nothing in changing the default settings of HDRP. I've done absolutely nothing. Now you started your Unity life in HDRP. So all of this is normal for you. For me, this is like weird.
Yeah, it's a
What
different
should I
world.
do?
Honestly, you don't need to do anything for the settings right now if you don't want to. I don't think that there's anything that needs to be done other than just we can start playing around.
Oh, really? I don't need to go into this thing in quality and start mucking about with anything. And
I don't think so. I mean, it's the kind of thing where certain stuff that you set will affect the performance of Expanse. For instance, Expanse computes like sky ambient cube map illumination. There's a resolution for that in the high definition render pipeline, the HDRP asset. You can change that if you want, but I think it'll be the default's like 256 by 256 or something, which is fine. As we can sort of take things as they come, and if something looks off for some reason, we can try and figure out what's going on. But by default, you shouldn't have to do anything.
oh, it's because I've seen some other assets where I've got to change the resources file for their resources file and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's a bit scary.
Yeah.
So there. Danny says he's using the default settings for graphics. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so here's your scene.
Yeah.
Looks beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just I sort of wanted to keep it as simple as possible. Demo a couple features. You've got two cloud layers here. One that's a texture cloud, and one that's volumetric. You've got some fog happening, and then yeah, there's just this simple model of Manhattan to show the sort of sky dome illumination type stuff. So yeah, you could maybe the easiest thing to do is grab that time of day controller and drag around the minutes slider down in the time section. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do. Yeah, and if you just drag that, it'll just adjust the time. Yeah. Now, if you go really fast, the clouds are using temporal denoising right now, so it'll take time for their illumination to update.
Oh, what have I done?
I don't know what's going on.
I clicked off.
Yeah, it also looks like there's a little problem there with the scene. Yeah, that's like it's an artifact from scene view. In game view, that probably won't show up. But
let's click play.
The deal is that I don't want to go into the details, but Unity's scene view frame buffer is a different size than the actual scene view, and sometimes when you're sampling that frame buffer, you'll get an artifact at the edge where the overlap happens. But yeah.
So this is
if you change.
You've got a time of. Do you tell people you've got a time of day thing on the store page?
I think it's in there somewhere. I mean, honestly, the funny thing is that everybody seems to. This is something that confused me a lot when I first released this asset 6 months ago. I was like, yeah, I released it without a time of day control because I was like, time of day is a solved problem that's not that hard to implement.
No, people always want it.
Scripts online. The hard part of this whole thing is rendering huge volumetric clouds in real time. Like that is where the technology is.
No,
that's
all people care about is time of day, Brad.
People care about time of day for some reason. I'm like, you just automate the sun direction. There's like a formula for it online. Obviously, I don't want to sound like a prick. Like I think I then went to implement it, and it was harder than I thought it was. But now I have something on here that says time of day with moon phases. So
you're just making me cough my guts out now. You need to take that out of the technical details and stick it up at the top in the description.
Yeah,
trust me, you will have a 60% increase in sales.
Yeah, I know. People are. It's funny. Yeah, you can change the other thing if you want to get the moon to show up. You can change the day.
Is this accurate though? Like at 3, because people go, okay, which hemisphere are you in? Yeah, because then that changes, doesn't it? At 3:40 in April, it's not going to be that light at 3:30, 3:40 in April, is it?
Yeah, it's probably not. I don't know. The time UTC offset might be off or something for the latitude and longitude. Or maybe it will be like that. We can also just look at what if we look on April. April 9th, we can look at the time at sunrise time, April 9th. I think the latitude right now, I think it was for San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm just fucking about that. So where are we in the world where at 48 latitude, 180 longitude, at 3 54, it's going to be that bright. I've just created a new place on the
Yeah,
planet.
the reason for that is that the right now this time UTC the way it's a total pain because basically like handling the handling the offset from UTC, which is the universal time code from the sort of prime meridian line, right? Um, is or the universal date line, um, is a pain to do on your own. Basically, you have to make a query to some like you know web server that will tell you what the offset is for a particular geographical point, and then there's localization issues too, like oh, like in San Francisco we observe daylight savings time. In Arizona, I think they don't like. So
Really?
there's an hour offset. Yeah, yeah, it's nuts. And so basically, I was like, the simplest thing to do is you can put in a latitude and a longitude, then you can look up what the UTC offset is, and you can put it into that parameter if you really want it to be accurate. Otherwise, you can just yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of the idea there. But I do wish it worked automatically. Like that would make things a lot easier. Um,
I'm
yeah,
loving just playing about with your time of day.
it's very entertaining. It's super fun.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah. Well, here, change the day to like the 24th or something, and go to the nighttime. I think that'll put the moon out. Um, uh, yeah, we can try that. Yeah, naturally it's gonna be dark for a second, but now I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
moon is out. If you look around, it's gonna be somewhere. Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I gotta turn gizmos off, otherwise, Darry's gonna get upset with me. There we go.
Yeah. So there you go. Um.
We had a question yesterday as we were talking about you coming on, and they were like, "Would this work with Cinti Studios skies?" And they're like, "No, why would it?" And then in the video, saw that you had a stylized version, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is awesome!"
Yeah. Yeah. So there's in terms of stylized stuff. Well, for one, like Expanse is generic enough. Outside of the clouds, it's kind of generic enough to make any sort of stylized look that you want, except something that's not going to be physically based, like a gradient sky. Um, so, and
Holy
there's
crap!
even
I
ways
just
of
flew into the
faking
clouds.
that if you
Sorry,
want.
just got excited.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could actually fly into them.
Yeah, yeah. So you can fly through them. There are problems with compositing over geometry and stuff like that, different artifacts you'll get, but in general they you can fly through them, and the sort of problems that you'll see like smearing and stuff are all optimization related. Um, yeah. And you
So,
can see there's
so
some
there's another
smearing at
asset
the
called
edge.
overcloud.
Hmm.
So effectively, you don't need that asset because you're flying over clouds here.
Yeah, Overcloud has great fly-through support, and that guy designed it with fly-through support in mind. Expanse was sort of fly-through. I sort of was something I kind of tried to tack on later, um, and so I think I don't know. I mean, I would if I was in that position, I'd just compare the two, see which one you like more, which one works better. Overcloud's an awesome asset,
Well,
and that guy
yours
is
isn't
Felix.
deprecated, is it?
It's not.
So you've
So
already
that's
won that.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and he sort of stopped. I mean, I think his development cycle was he was just getting tired of working on it, and so I think, which is understandable. I think he worked on it for 2 years. It was right before Unity made the switch between all the render pipelines. So his was only for built-in, as far as I know. Yeah. Um, but yeah, yeah.
I went flying a
Um,
bit too far.
yeah.
How do I change the types of, because there's loads of different clouds. I didn't know this, but all these different names of clouds and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Like the different like scientific
Yeah, exactly.
classifications of clouds, like cumulus and stratus and stuff.
Did you learn all
Yeah.
that, or did you just go, you know what, I'm just going to make fluffy cotton wool in the sky?
You know what's funny is that it's like they are sort of important from a meteorological perspective. From a rendering
We don't make
perspective,
mistakes.
it's
We have
useful
happy
and it's not,
accidents.
right? The categories are like, they're very wishy-washy categories. Like they basically, the different words mean like, are they poofy? Like, are they like kind of wispy? And then are they high in the sky or low in the sky? And you're like, well, like, why do we have names for them? But the names are so cool and inventive that you're kind of like, I'm glad that some dude in the 1800s came up with all of these because they're sort of goofy. But yeah, the way you can change the clouds is if you just go to the volumetric clouds game object there. If you go to the preset browser, it's going to take a sec to load because it's indexing all of the presets.
Wow.
But now you can basically click any of those, and it will load that up for you. So the first couple are what you would call like cirrus clouds. There's cirrocumulus, cirrostratus. They're high up in the sky, and they're very sort of like, smaller, wispier. Yeah. And then if you scroll further down, you'll start to get to cumulus clouds and some stratus clouds.
Is it? Hang on. I'm clicking that Realer optimized. Oh, that did change something.
Yeah, it's harder to see because it might be easier to see if you disable the cloud plane because they're probably they're overlaying on top of each other. Where it says where the cloud plane game object is.
Oh, did I turn this? I turned off the grid. Good. Let me just make sure all of these are turned on. Yeah, all of that's turned on. Cloud plane.
Yeah, if you turn that off, then it'll be easier to see because that's sort of some background, really high up cirrus clouds. Yeah, so there's two. You can have up to 8 cloud layers in Expanse.
Wow.
I would not recommend it because your GPU will be lit on fire. But you can have a lot of up to 8 cloud layers. Yeah, so this is kind of a simple, cirrus cloud preset.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
That cumulonimbus would be cool to have. Storm clouds.
You can you can make cumulonimbus clouds if you want to. Yeah, we're only just scratching the surface of the presets here. I don't know if I have any cumulonimbus ones load as presets, but yeah, if you click on some of these guys, you'll see some more sort of cumulus looking clouds.
Cumulus looking clouds, I love it. We got 2 subs in the chat. Thank you so much, Bit Gamey, you beautiful badger, and Desert Tiger. Grr. Yeah, tiger.
You're working against my plan. Unsubscribe.
No, they're letting my children eat.
I'm joking.
But Brad's actually, we found out who's actively against me. It's not Ocular Malice as I thought. It's actually Brad.
Yeah, I'm fighting. Yeah.
Can you? But we're talking about HDRP and Cinti. We were joking about why would you use Cinti Studios stuff in HDRP, and then Fresh Meat says in chat, I use Cinti in HDRP. Serious question: does it look any different? Assuming not. I think it's more related to all the other things that you'll be putting on there. Like you could have Expanse in your project if you're using HDRP and Cinti Studio stuff. Reposado.
I just came up with random names.
I was going to say, some of these ones that you've actually made up were these real names.
I think that's the name of a restaurant near me.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
Yeah, I think that's just a restaurant name. It's fun, you just get to come up with random crap.
I don't know if you're telling me the truth now or not. Because I would have been talking to somebody who knows about clouds and goes, oh yes, I love, my favorite cloud is the Reposado cloud, is the Marinada Quattro Formaggi
cloud, Cacio Pepe cloud, Fajol cloud, yeah. Yeah, so some of these cirrus ones are I haven't updated these guys in a little while, but the ones further down are more recent. This Zen one, yeah, this one's kind of interesting, just very streaky.
Wow, like over here there's nothing, and then over here, is that why it's optimized? Because it's like only clouds on that side of the world.
No, it's the reason that it's optimized is it has to do with how many pixels are being rendered every frame. So what Expanse does to optimize itself is, and make things faster, is it will only render a max. It'll render like 1 out of every 4 pixels every frame, and reproject with the camera data to fill in the other ones. And so yeah, you can see some artifacts from that happening right now during fly-through. You can sort of tone down and tone up that effect depending on how visible it is for you. Like there's pretty bad.
Accidents.
Yeah, that was like 1 star.
Yeah, 1 star. but yeah, you know.
To be fair, I don't think I've flown through a cloud recently. Thank you, Dowie, for the sub, buddy.
Yeah.
Can you get away with that with some kind of like post-processing or something?
You could. So there's some people have sort of, if they really need to leverage like crazy reprojection amounts for their game, then
put a particle effect as you go through the cloud.
Yeah, or they use, so you can define a density probe in Expanse where you can put it on something and it'll tell you how dense the clouds are around it. So you can put that on your main camera, and then you could fade in like a fog or something like that to make that less obvious. But the other way to fix it is if you go to the reprojection and denoising foldout, down at the bottom.
Oh, hang on. Denoising. Where's that?
Yeah, it's the one all the way at the bottom. Reprojection and denoising.
Yeah.
If you turn reprojection frames down to 1, this is going to be a lot less performant, but the artifacts will be gone.
Well, who cares about performance?
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
No one's actually making a game with Unity.
It's not like we make real-time experiences or something.
Oh, that looks much nicer.
Yeah, so it's the reprojection that creates those problems mainly. Though fly-through is something I'm still kind of working on actively, trying to make the sampling strategy better, trying to make reprojection more usable, denoising.
We don't make mistakes.
It's just a tough thing to do.
I was going to say to you, how big is the volume? Because I've flown past the clouds.
It can cover up to like half of the planet, and you can control that with the scale, the transform. So if you up the scale to like 400,000, then you can do that. The other thing is that there's a fade out at the edge of the volume, and in the modeling tab,
make mistakes.
You can adjust where that fade out happens and how far they extend. Yeah,
we're trying to be professional and talking, and we just notice we're getting hit with a sub train.
We have happy accidents.
Lurking Ninja has gone and gifted a shed load of subscriptions. Thank you so much, Lurking Ninja. Get the hype train going. Has gifted a sub to Leela Lovelace, to Kashade, Mech Warrior, Badaki, who won the other day for the stream with Reactor, Mr. Thunderstump. Thank you so much, you beautiful badger. My kids are gonna have some food this week.
It looks like we got Joe Ricchito asking an optimization question. Yeah.
So he tried optimizing cloud rendering as much as possible to see if Expanse would be viable for my FPS game. Is the lighting also optimizable?
Yeah, it is. So there's sort of 2 expenses for rendering clouds, right? One is how many samples you take in the direction of the view. And then at each of those view samples, you also have to take samples toward the light to make sure that the clouds shadow themselves. And you can turn that off. If you go to sampling, if you go to self-shadowing, and you just uncheck it, that will speed things up a lot. And it won't look as good. but there's a little thing there where you can sort of introduce some fake self-shadows. Using different ranges, it'll just darken the bottom of the clouds. So that's something, if you really need to crunch the lighting, most AAA games on like potato mode will have, if they have volumetric clouds, they will turn off self-shadowing. But yeah, hopefully that Joe Ricchito, hopefully that answers your question. Joe Ricchito is like a regular on the Expanse Discord, so I'm surprised you haven't asked that question there.
He was saving it for the stream.
Glad I could answer here.
Why are you being mean? He was saving it.
I'm not trying to be mean.
He was saving it for the stream, Brad.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you asked it hear it, I can answer it. Yeah.
Bradley.
Obviously, let me know. Of course. Obviously, let me know if it doesn't work and or if it's not fast enough still, and we can try and do other stuff. The other thing you can do is you can turn the noise quality down in the noise editor section. There's a lot of sections. The reason for that is because Expanse is complicated. It's a little bit of a learning curve to use it. I hope.
Do we need to read the manual, or can we just play and tweak and muck about?
You can just play and tweak, and you'll probably get somewhere. Reading the manual will help you understand how to get the result you want. But I think it's fun to kind of learn by doing too. So
now there's an important question for Joey. Right? It says, I tried optimizing cloud rendering as much as possible to see if Expanse would be viable for my FPS game. You didn't actually tell us how is it going. Is it viable for your FPS game? What is the performance like, Joey Kido? Let's be honest. Come on, be honest now. Is your game going like an orc through mud now that you've got Expanse in, or are you getting a good frame rate? Let's see what he says. Let's see what he says, Brad. Let's see what he says.
I mean, I have a prediction. It depends on. I can tell you how much time it takes to render Expanse at different quality levels. But yeah.
It says if I can optimize a little more, it's viable. Okay. And he has also said he hasn't actually gone through the optimization video you posted. Not that he hasn't gone through the documentation. He hasn't even bothered to watch your video to explain how to optimize.
Now you're being mean.
And he's asking about optimization. Oh my word, Joey.
To be fair, it's an hour-long video. It's pretty intense. I kind of made it as like, once you've used Expanse and you want to use it in your game, watch the video and it'll show you how to make it work for you. But you got to kind of cross a significant hurdle to get there. So yeah.
I'm being cyberbullied. You're not being cyberbullied. You're being virtually bullied. It's different. Desert Tiger says, "Chuff, chuff, chuff, hype fell." Oh, do we not get a hype train? I think that would have been enough for a hype train. Hell yeah, it would have been enough for a hype train. Now which is your favorite of these presets?
I don't know. I like the one that you're on now. I really like Antithesis. I think is my favorite one. Of the ones that are there right now. Eastward is pretty cool too.
Far and Away.
Far and Away is kind of cool. I don't know. Yeah.
Where's Antithesis? The Pretender.
It's kind of alphabetical.
I thought you were going to go with like Predator. It is alphabetical. It's not alphabetical.
It's not alphabetical. It's alphabetical.
It's alphabetical when you could be bothered.
Within the folder that they're stored in. So these are stored in Cumulus, Cirrus, and Stratus folders. But yeah, I kind of wish I'd like to put up like a search bar or something like that. Or
that
some
would be
kind of
awesome.
tagging thing.
But the problem is, what are they searching for? Because you've just made up these names.
I know, I've just made up. Well, I was gonna say if you could tag them with like Cirrus, Cumulus, Stratus, that would be cool. I don't know. Yeah.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah, what's the favor?
Can you make a messy cloud?
Yeah, let's do it.
And in the preset, next preset you're gonna have in an update, have a messy cloud.
Definitely, yeah. Send me a picture of some clouds that you like. I'll try to make a preset that replicates that. We'll have the messy cloud.
No. You need to do a cloud preset that symbolizes your experience on the stream tonight.
Okay.
So how you feel it went, and it's layered obviously, because at the start, it was stress, talking about the situation that Unity basically have tried to destroy your asset by selling it for 50 cents on the asset store, and then there's that elation of knowing that everyone is supporting you and behind you as you take on this legal battle against Unity to take them down, and then it moves further into knowing that possibly no one's watching your 1 hour long videos about optimization and then asking you why isn't their clouds optimized. So we'll see how we get on from there.
High highs and low lows.
Yeah. A big messy badger cloud smiling down on the world.
We could probably make that happen.
Yeah.
Maybe not, actually.
I was not expecting, let me be honest, bro. I was not expecting your clouds to be nice.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I mean, because I'm going to be honest. I don't
know if I appreciate that.
Actually. I was like, because every time I see a cloud thing, I'm like, they look nice. And then you're like, they look nice, but you can't fly above them. Or they look nice, but you can't fly into them. Or they look nice, but they're just a picture. Or they look nice, but it's all fake, smoke and mirrors. And then
yeah,
I know that, by the non-optimized version, you've got a bit of artifacts going on there. But even then, when I was mucking about, I was able to change it. Like, you could, for that moment that you're flying into the cloud, is there an event I could listen to or subscribe to that then says, you know what, as I fly into the cloud and I collide with it, I'm going to increase the quality, that thing down to 1 or decrease it so that it looks awesome, and then as I go out of it, it goes back to the optimized version.
You definitely could do that. It's tough because, I mean, obviously this, like, in real-time experiences, like, we got a frame budget, and if you can't afford to do something 1 frame, chances are if you can't afford to do something every frame, it's tough to imagine you'd be able to afford it during 1 frame. But yeah, the way you would do that with Expanse, and there's a documentation page on this on the documentation site, is you would use a density probe query. So Expanse lets you kind of basically query it for the cloud density at any point. It sends some data over to the GPU. The GPU fulfills the query, sends it back to you. You get a callback that says how much density there is where you're looking. I would say just like throw 8 of those around the camera in different spots, and then it'll tell you basically when you're in clouds and when you're not. And that would probably work for applying some kind of post effect or changing the quality based on where you are, that kind of thing. Yeah. I see you've decided to go below the surface, maybe?
I went snow cover optimized.
Oh, yeah, snow cover. Yeah, this is a good one.
And then I went below the ocean, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
I love how you're solving a problem that I always have, and that's decent lighting with the sky as well. So it's not just a case of, you got to have the proper skybox or whatever, but it's even then, like, the lighting doesn't feel right. But this is great. This is actually, how much of this is HDRP doing the work for you, and how much is this you? Because I joked earlier about what somebody, you said that somebody commented to Unity that they really need to pull their finger out because your clouds are so much better than their HDRP clouds. But I don't know how much of this is inside Unity's HDRP, and how much of this is you.
Honestly, a lot of it is inside HDRP. In terms of the illumination, the geometry illumination. The rest of it is the sky itself is entirely me. But oh yeah, look at that. Oh no, that's compression. Sorry, I'm seeing video compression on my stream. So I was like, what happened? No. I was like, it's not supposed to look like that.
HDRP, right, what have you done now? That looks good for me.
It's like, now the illumination stuff though, basically what HDRP does, when you create a custom sky, it says render this. It says render this sky to a cube map. Tell me how to do that, and you basically show it. You write a shader to render your sky out to a cube map. Then it performs this sort of real-time every frame convolution thing on that cube map to extract spherical harmonics. And it uses those spherical harmonics in the lighting, the ambient lighting contribution for all the geometry. And that way you get specular reflections and you get diffuse reflections pretty cheaply, and it looks really good. So that's kind of the lighting stuff. All I'm doing is I'm telling it what the sky looks like in cube map form, and then Unity is doing the rest for illuminating the geometry. That said, something that it doesn't do very well, and that Unreal is able to do
You're not allowed
with
to say
Lumen
Unreal
now.
not allowed to say Unreal on the stream.
You're not allowed to say
No,
it.
I'm only
Okay.
joking. I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
I thought you. I was like, you do Unreal stuff too. Something that Unreal does that looks really good is they have a voxel-based ambient occlusion strategy, so that when you go into a cave, for instance, you're not getting blue ambient light from the sky. It looks dark. And with Unity, a lot of people will download Expanse. They put it in their scene. There's a cave. They walk in the cave. The cave is blue. They're like, something's broken. I'm like, no, guys, like I can't fix that. Like that's on Unity to properly compute ambient occlusion. Which is a hard problem to solve. So I think I'm not going to bash them for not doing it yet. Yeah.
We got a question.
That was a lot.
Is it possible to use occlusion area with volumetrics? Not sure if it works. Never tested it before.
Is that like an occlusion probe or something? I've never heard of that before.
So we'll wait for Sunny to come back. Is it limited to Earth-based skies, or could you do a Mars-ish red sky in the middle of the day?
You wanna do it right now?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, can you disable the clouds, because the clouds are probably gonna look super weird on a Martian sky. But if you just just uncheck them. Yeah, and now uncheck the fog too. Cool. Now go to the Earth atmosphere thing. And now
can I just say, when you disable the clouds, Expanse isn't that fancy anymore.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to just put it out. Sanya says occlusion baking performance optimization. Oh yeah, okay.
By the way, it actually is still fancy. There's reasons that it's fancy that we can talk about if you
want.
I
love that. I love that. That's fighting talk. Exactly. You got to stick up for your asset, Brad.
Right before. I'll show you the one thing that's particularly fancy before we do the Mars thing. Yeah. But if you bring the sun down with the time of day close to the horizon.
Okay. How do I do that?
The minutes control. Just.
Oh, you want just to do that? Okay.
Yeah. Now look at the back of the sky.
Well, like turn around
behind the sun. Oh. Yeah. So the deal here is that Expanse computes something called multiple scattering. When light bounces around in the atmosphere, it bounces around a lot of times. And usually this is a really expensive thing to do. Unity's physically based sky just kind of says, we're not going to find a way to do it. In recent literature, like the past 1 or 2 years, people have come up with ways to compute multiple scattering efficiently, especially for a homogeneous medium like the sky dome. So if you go over to base settings, the game object, and then open that up and go down to quality settings, and then click atmosphere, you can disable use multiple scattering and see what the difference is. And if you look at the back of the sky dome, it's most apparent. But if you click it, then yeah, it sort of helps to purplify and smooth things out a little bit. And if you bring the sun even further over the horizon with the time of day, it becomes even more obvious for that sort of evening lighting look. So here, maybe like right there. Yeah, now if you go back to the quality and adjust it.
Oh yeah. Yanin's saying you should put sliders for your time of day. Do you know what? I'm not up for that, because the slider wouldn't allow me to just, oh no, would it? I'm not sure. Where you just click and just be moving your mouse across the screen. I was just moving my mouse around and around and around, making the days go by.
Yeah, that's the reason, is that the slider doesn't let you do the modulo thing. So when it gets to 60 minutes, it wraps back around and back around. So that's why it's a text box and not a slider.
And I like it like that. I wonder, how do you render camera far away clouds?
I don't have anything special. They're just far away from the camera. And they're still volumetric. There's an LOD system that will make it a little bit cheaper to render them. But there's nothing special for them.
So if I'm viewing forward here, the clouds that are behind me and to the right of me, they're still, obviously not me, but if the camera is looking here, then everything else that's behind me and around me is still generated and still visible. It's not like
Yeah.
they'll be cut and not rendered.
They're visible, but it'll only render the stuff that's in the frustum. But for reflections, it will render everything around you. It renders that out to a spherical texture. And yeah, Sanyo, I do have LODs, but the interesting thing is that with volumetrics, the notion of an LOD is a little bit trickier because the performance of ray marching doesn't necessarily. This is all right. You broke it. Congratulations. I was gonna say that.
How did I break it?
I think I guess it looks like when you just change the atmosphere texture quality. Hit play and come back out.
No,
it's
I
gonna
refuse
work again. It looks like what it's complaining about is that the fog is disabled and there's not a compute buffer bound for it.
Ripping through the metaverse.
Yeah, that's my my super ultra preset. I gotta fix that fog problem. I just need to bind a dummy compute buffer for it. Yeah, now we get stars and stuff too. So it should all. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, the Unity's physically based sky does not compute multiple scattering. Expanses does. Is it crucial? Like, probably not. But I think it looks really cool, and it's only adds like 20 or so microseconds when it's optimized well. So yeah, but you can disable it if you don't need it.
How do you make the moon bigger?
Go to the moon game object, and just drag the angular radius parameter up, and you can make it as big as you want. Well, you can make it really big if you want to. Yeah.
Man, there's nights that I've been in the car with the kids, coming home, as the moon's coming out, and it's huge, like the size of a moon, and you're like, wow, that is massive. Look at the size of that thing.
And it's crazy that it's all just about relative perception.
Yeah.
It's very like Gestalt or something. Like,
look at the size of that thing.
Yeah.
That's not a moon.
Big moon.
And
POV, you're I don't know what the joke to make is, but
whoa, I broke it again.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. I don't know if you just ended up. Oh, that might be an exposure problem? I bet you that's what it is. I bet it's an auto exposure thing. I can't really tell. Because you're looking at the ground.
All right, so I've
like what happens if you whatever. Yeah.
Hang on, let me put the buildings in front of the moon.
Sanyo, yeah, that's the gist. Is you can add 8 celestial bodies. You can sort of model otherworldly stuff by just changing the properties of the participating media for the clouds, like changing the scattering and extinction coefficients, which effectively changes the color, but in a physically based way. Yeah, you can add you can change the texture for the celestial bodies if you want. Yeah. Big moon.
Don't do the moon that size, everyone, okay? Do you know what? I'm going to say like 47 or 50.
Baroque dub.
Oh,
we talked about it at the beginning. I don't know what's going on with this. This is weird.
I misread what Baroque dub, and I thought he said, "Is Expanse ever going to be on HDRP?"
Yeah, I was like, that's what it. No, it's only HDRP. It's never coming to the other pipelines. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. I don't know why it's freaking out on you for just sort of random spots in scene view. I'm actually kind of confused. Yeah.
Well,
but in game,
it's my job
game view,
to break it.
Yeah, that's good. Look, I mean,
do you have a fly cam?
I think do I? No, I don't think I do.
I'll put one in.
Okay. Wait, should we still do the Mars thing? 'Cause
Yeah,
we could
yeah,
totally
exactly.
do
That's
the
but
Mars
that's why I'm
thing.
making the moon massive to make it alieny.
Oh, cool.
There was a
Okay, yeah.
method to my
I think I
madness.
I think I have a gas giant texture in there too, if you
Oh,
want to use that thing.
yeah,
Um,
baby. Let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's easy. Yeah, if you pop back over to the moon,
1 second.
after grab the fly controller, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Boom, boom, boom. Now, why is it called Expanse? Is it after the TV show?
no, it's not. I just thought it was kind of a cool name. I actually don't. All right, call me crazy. I love sci-fi stuff. I tried to get into the Expanse. I didn't like it that much.
I'm going to say I'm not totally different to you. However, you have to give it the first season.
I made it to the second season, couple episodes into the second
Really?
season. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this.
Oh, hang on.
this thing.
Maybe it's you need to get it past the annoying character storyline.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
that I don't know what.
There's
I'm willing to give it another try.
give it another try. My wife likes it. Oh no, this is using the new input system. I gotta go to the settings and tell it to use the old one.
Yeah, that's something I've run into too.
Oh, why would it make you in the? Oh, it's just. How do I tell it to go back to using? Is it in the player? It would be player, wouldn't it? Input system new. No, old.
Yeah, it might make you restart. Yeah, it's gonna make you
restart.
Thanks, Unity.
So
yeah, I've run into that problem a number of times too. What can you do?
Heresy, says Joey Quito. Heresy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't like it that much. I'm sure maybe I will like it more when I mean, and the number of sci-fi series I like. I mean, I feel like the Expanse should be something I'm into, but I don't know. Yeah.
Do you know what? I was like that with I love the Wild West. I was making my own Wild West game. You might have heard about it. It was very popular on the internet. It wasn't.
Wait, tell me what it is. I want to look it up.
Yeah. It's on Twitter. That's as far as it got, and some YouTube videos. And then Red Dead 2 came out, and I bought a PlayStation just so I could play Red Dead 2, and I just couldn't get into it. It just didn't do it for me.
Same thing happened to me with Red Dead. I was like, this game is beautiful, and the writing's pretty good, and the characters are good, but it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like, you know? I don't know. But what did you not like about it?
I can't. It's not something that I can coherently describe. It's just Red Dead 1 really drew me into it, and I was invested, and I loved it. But Red Dead 2, and I was expecting to love it, and that didn't happen. Maybe that's the problem. I was expecting too much of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I call me crazy. I still have to play Red Dead 1, so I there's another insane thing.
Get it? Yeah. Once you get past the first few stories, and Red Dead 1, the first few stories was like, oh, this is annoying. Well, when you get past those, yeah, I liked it a lot, loved it even, and they made a zombie add-on. Red Dead 2 is too boring to me. Somehow it's more attention to details than great story and exciting action. There you go, not just me. I finished season 1 of The Silent Sea. Those Koreans really going hard with sci-fi show nowadays. Ah, cool, another Korean show. Huh? How do you code something like Expanse? You're only 16. How old are you really? Because you,
I'm 20. I'm 24.
Because you do look 12.
No, I'm 24. Yeah, and and I went to college and I studied computer graphics. And I did.
But importantly, you're also a musician, and that translates. What I found, people who are musicians translate and transition very easily over into coding. I think it must be something about the brain. And I had this conversation with Dr. Penny DeBilt from Holistic 3D. Give me an exclamation mark, Holistic 3D in chat. She's awesome. And her mum is from a music background. Her daughter also music, but Penny's basically saying that she can't read music. I can't read the sheet. I'm the same. To me, it's like a form of dyslexia for me. I was trying to explain this to my wife, and she was like, "No, you're wrong." I'm like, she goes, "How can you have been having guitar lessons and not know how to read music?" Like, well, I can't.
It takes a lot of practice, and I'm not super good at it either, reading music. I think people approach music in lots of different ways, and some people are brought up learning to sight read from being a kid and they're super good at it, and other people practice it, more. They have like other ways of doing stuff like chord charts or by ear or even just sounding stuff out. Yeah, it's weird. People approach it super different ways. Yeah.
Do you find that there's a correlation between the coding and the music in how your brain processes it?
There can be. I mean, I think music production feels that way too. Music production, technical art, programming, they sort of all sort of fit into this flow state type thing. You're there and you sort of lose your sense of self and just kind of dissolve into whatever you're working on. Music is kind of that way too, especially when you're playing with other people. The texture is kind of different, but I don't know, other people probably have opinions on this too, um, but yeah, there's some amount of creativity in all of it.
I love the chat. Epic Minds, not always true. I have a musician friend and he can't code for whack.
I think I don't know if it's like every musician is a great programmer or vice versa, definitely not vice versa. um, you know, and it depends on the kind of programming you're doing too, I think this sort of artistic stuff appeals to me, it's fun and it's interesting. Uh, you know, I didn't super enjoy my hardcore systems courses in college, so say what you will about that.
Warwick says, definitely, I was a music producer for years and fell into game dev. See, I'm not just talking, whistling Dixie even. Makes more sense. He still has a gift. You do have a gift, but you've given many people a chance to play with your gift because they can get it on a Unity Asset Store, currently 50% off. Okay, it's not the lightning sale, but it's still good.
Yeah, we're looking for more people to come hang out on our Discord server. Yeah, it would be awesome.
And I can't replicate that issue in play mode.
Yeah, I think it might be an auto exposure thing, or Unity scene view has a bunch of weird stuff about it. It's like it's always hard to have it always work out. All right, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
Man, this looks lovely.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm getting some weird dots going on the screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing the dots too. I have no idea what that is.
What? It's like you broke my monitor.
Yeah. You know what? Try disabling the stars. I wonder if there's a bug with those right now.
Can I disable if I pause in play mode?
Yeah, it'll work. If you go to
Okay.
stars and just disable those, I wonder if that'll fix it. I don't really know. Did that do it?
No.
No. That's super weird. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that happen to me before. I wonder where that's coming from.
So what we do? Let's reduce the moon.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe there's like some weird bug with I don't usually have planets that size. Yeah, that or no.
Still there, but not as pronounced. Nope, there.
No, they're there. Yeah, I saw that too. I'm kind of confused. I wonder if it's yeah, I wonder if it's like a bloom thing or something. Like it looks like some weird screen space overlay texture. But I totally see them too.
I don't see anything. Are you sure there aren't dead pixels on your monitor?
No, they're there in the stream and they're here. Yeah, I have no idea. Super weird. But if we can figure out how to reproduce it on my machine, then I'll totally fix it.
I'll tell you what my settings are. So, I won't change anything yet on that one. So if I go to base settings, what did we play about with earlier?
We added the.
I'm out ripping through the metaverse.
I wonder if that's the problem. If you lower the quality, I wonder if it'd be prepared for it to crash again. I bet. Oh no, did it work? Oh, yeah, it worked fine. Yeah, now try and do it. I wonder if that'll fix it. Because there might be something about the texture resolution of the sky being that high that's causing a problem for some reason.
Oh no, they're there.
They're there? All right, well then it's not that. Huh.
Odd. But how?
Can you try this actually? Actually, I don't know. Now I'm really wondering what's going on. Go to volumetric clouds. Or no, they show up even when the clouds aren't there.
I I try? I don't know. I tried it with the stars off. I didn't get rid of the cloud.
Yeah, but I saw them there when the clouds were off too. I think they're still gonna be there.
Let's try. You saw them and you didn't mention anything?
I thought it was an artifact from the screen. I was like, yeah. Are they there still, or
They're
are they
there.
gone? Yeah.
All
Yeah, that's
right.
really weird.
Yeah, 1 star.
Yeah, 1 star. What if you try turning off the fog? Let's just go one by one. See what we.
This is how you do it. Though. You change one variable at a time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've had to debug lots of crap. So.
They are stars. It's a feature. It's not a bug. It's a feature.
All right. What is this? I can't see them, but maybe they're there.
They're there.
Oh no, I see them. I see them.
All right. So fog.
All right. Yeah.
What if we make the moon small at the beginning?
Yeah. What if you just turn it all the way down to like 1 point whatever?
At 1 point, that's crazy small.
A value of 0.5 is actually correct.
No, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what. I can see one little dot in the far right. Can you see that? I put it near the moon. There, on the moon.
I can't see it, but it's because of the compression, I bet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's what it is. It's.
Oh no! Hang on. Let me just lick my monitor. No, that one I think I could see was just a coffee stain on my monitor.
Okay, so it looks like at some point, if this thing is too wide, oh, you know what? I wonder if it's the penumbra of the thing. All right. Look. At any rate, I'm gonna put this on my task board and figure it out.
I thought it was a penumbra.
That was your first guess.
That was my first thought. I said, you know what? It's the penumbra.
Ah, you should have just. Well, I'm glad you.
But I didn't go with that.
I'm glad you held off saying that so I could come to my own. I could reach that on my own.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to put the penumbra at 5,621 and see if that's... The dots are relative to the camera, so check those relative values in the shader.
Yeah, I totally can. I mean, I think, yeah, I have enough info to debug it now for sure. I'll be able to fix it. There's something I've learned. It's that you just got to believe that you can just fix this stuff. And
you just got to believe. In general.
So let me see what happens when I make the moon really big. It doesn't give a crap for me.
But do you have a controller on your camera and that you're moving it about?
Let me move it around real quick. I do have do I have a controller on my camera right now? No, I don't, but I can add one.
Oh, hang on, let me just chuck you
mine. Here, I have it. I have a free camera one in this little project I have set up. And let me go to play maximize. Yeah, I have no little spots on mine.
Wow.
Weird.
Are you on HDRP 10? I'm on 10. What are you on?
I'm on geez, it's like, where does it say that? I'm using 2020.1, 2021.2 right now.
I think you're on 12.
And HDRP version, I'm probably on 12. I mean, I'm not gonna blame it on HDRP. I mean,
HDRP is lovely. It's never done anyone to anyone.
Oh, no, but I wouldn't say that just because it's not reproducing for me right now doesn't mean it's not a problem with Expanse.
You got to move. You got to move up though to a certain. It wasn't happening for me when I was lower down. I noticed.
That's interesting. I wonder. Here, let me add in like a little piece of geometry here just to make sure that I can actually see what's going on.
Don't worry, I'll edit all of this out of the YouTube video when we push it live.
You can keep it in. I mean, I'd rather just be honest with people. You know, if there's something wrong, just have them know that I'll fix it. You know, it's like nothing wrong with that.
You just won't fix it for those people who got it in the lightning sale.
In the lightning sale, they don't get any support.
Exactly.
No, I'm sorry.
It's the new dots. Exactly. This is the new dots from Unity. All
right, let me see. So I'm okay. So I got it.
It's shadow casted on particle. We turned off fog. We turned off.
Oh, I wonder. Honestly, I wonder if it's Unity's volumetrics interacting in a weird way or something. I don't know. But here, if I am way up here right now, and things are looking fine.
Oh, I did it again. Look at that. Everything went black. You got to fix that one of everything going black.
Yeah. It's so weird that it's never cropped up for me until we started this thing. No one's ever reported it.
But that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're figuring it out. I mean,
can I post a pic of a really nice sunset? It has a really nice distortion on the horizon.
You know,
yeah, of course you can. Hang on, let me. You're a sub, aren't you? So Barak, you're a sub. You can post whatever links you want.
Let's take a look at it.
Playing with micro black holes and wondering how we end up inside them. All right, let's have a look at this picture.
Oh yeah, that looks really cool. Expanse doesn't do that kind of distortion at the sunset. It's something I've been thinking about implementing for a while. The sort of atmospheric refraction thing. It's super cool, but doesn't do it right now.
I made
that's the answer.
I say somebody made for me, and I tweaked it a little bit for my cowboy thing. Was the heat camera effect for the heat, and that was lovely because like in the distance you could change the distance of the effect for the heat, and it would warp. So you know that kind of look in the desert. So you got the blazing hot sun.
Yeah, that's such a cool effect. That's like a warp sort of shader after the transparent pass or something, or like it. Yeah, that's super cool.
Can Expanse do that?
No, it doesn't have anything in that. But you know, it's whatever. It's kind of it's you know, you can get another asset and do it as a post process is the way I would do it. That's kind of a principle I've actually followed developing Expanse for a while now. Is I kind of people have asked, one thing that people tend to ask is why doesn't it have a weather system?
They mentioned it in chat earlier, but I think they were just being facetious because you've got a time of day system.
Yeah. Everybody people tend to ask that question, and the answer is basically that A, it's a lot of development overhead, leaves me less time to focus on the sky. B, you don't want something like this to become a monolith where people have to use the Expanse weather system to use Expanse.
Yeah.
Weather is the kind of thing that I sort of like to design things with modularity in mind. And I think that having sort of a sky solution that can be controlled from script with a separate weather system that anybody can implement if they want to is cleaner, and it's more amenable to being used for different use cases than having sort of one canonical weather system that everybody has to use.
I was going to say, so there's no problem in using Expanse with a weather system, an existing.
Yeah, you totally can. Yeah. I actually have a little tutorial on how to make a really simple one on the documentation page. There's a guy, Eric, his Discord name's Morpheus101, and he's made a weather controller for Expanse that he's selling on his website right now. So yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, anyone can sort of do their own thing.
I would love if assets would be more targeted for one thing and doing that one thing greatly instead of a toolbox. Is that most? Yeah, and there's a few assets that started off as a one thing asset, which then started spiraling out of control and being more than just that, and then putting me off them. When they were one thing, it was like, they were great.
it's tough if it's too bloated, you know, because the more things you add, the more challenging it becomes for those things to interact coherently with other systems, right? And so I was just like, Expanse renders a sky, and it renders clouds, and it renders celestial bodies and fog.
Let's have one
That's all
more.
it does. You know, you tell it what to draw, and it draws it. Yeah.
Epic Mice is now following. Epic Mice, thank you for the follow. It took you a while though into the stream. Let's do an exclamation mark uptime. I love it. Epic Mice was like, you know what? I'm going to wait to see if I like this content before I follow. And now Epic Mice is following. I appreciate that. I respect that because
Yeah, that's good at least.
It means that now we deserve it, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You do one thing, do it well, stick to that policy. Exactly. Now, how do we make this as the Martian sky?
It's pretty easy. So if you just go over to Earth atmosphere, that game object, and disable the ozone layer, the one that says name ozone, and now, which by the way is another thing that's crucial to model to get the right look, because otherwise the atmosphere is too green. If you now go over to, you know, like on the other atmosphere layer, there's like the Unity preset button, the little sliders at the top right.
This one here?
No, it's like it's on the top bar where it says atmosphere layer. Sorry, it's still on the component. Yeah,
this
to the
one.
right. The one to the left of that, the bars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that. Click that, and now go down to Mars Rally, and select that preset.
Wow.
And now, yeah, so Mars has blue sunsets, so it's blue. If you bring the sun up, it'll look kind of orange. Yep. So you could construct this model yourself if you wanted to, but I have a little preset in there because, like, why not? You know, it's something that's fun to showcase in other planets' atmospheres.
I want to have weird nebula things in the sky.
Yeah, you can do that. Do you want them to be textural or procedural?
Procedural would be lovely, but
yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, right click over on Expanse Volumetric Cloud Sky, just to create yeah, like the main, we're just going to create a procedural nebula, so put it wherever you want to put it. Go to Expanse.
Expanse.
It's down there, and then Advanced, and then Procedural Nebulae, down at the bottom. Oh, great. Perfect. Hit play and unhit play.
What's this?
It looks like there's a problem. Hopefully it still works. I haven't used this feature in a while.
Epic Mice says, I was thinking about my project and how these talents I'm seeing could play part in it. There's lots of Epic Mice. If you've missed the other streams this week, we started off on Monday with Reactor, the multiplayer engine for Unity. Tuesday we had Boxophobic in D environment. Wednesday, which was yesterday, we had Steph from Stellar Game Arts. Today we've got the amazing Brad from the 3M's creative with Expanse. Let's get out of there.
So if you want to go over to now go over to the Nebula. Now you can select a preset with the same little button that you did before. So just pick a random. They're just random names. Cosmic Dust. Whatever. Pick one.
Merc. Purple. I'm going to Northern Lights.
Yeah. So now they're gonna be too dim for you to see them. But if you put the sun over the horizon, I think they'll be visible. And we can So there you go.
Wow. I love how let's go and see 5th day. No, it's no moon. 9th.
Yeah.
12th. There could be something on the 12th, surely.
I don't know, just keep going forward. You'll get to 1. Oh.
There we go.
There's 1. Wow. So yeah, you can pick random ones. They're all just little procedural things. It's this feature. I think it's cool. I like it. I think they look good. But it definitely is a little more of a novelty than the other stuff. the main way I would suggest, if you really want to author crazy looking nebulae, like you can also use a texture here in place of the procedural stuff, and you can author that texture in Photoshop or Houdini or Blender or whatever you want to use.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Aurora, says Sanyo.
I haven't implemented any auroras. The Northern Lights preset is just like something that looks kind of Aurora-esque that you can sort of use. But you know.
Can I change the color of my moon?
Yeah. That's the light color.
Yeah, so it's going to emitting red everywhere. How do I change the color of the moon?
The albedo tint will do that for you. It's just right above, yeah. And now it'll tint it however you want it to be.
Oh, that's freaky.
Yeah, the tinting thing is useful. You know, you can only do so much with the pre-authored texture in terms of recoloring it intelligently. So, yeah. But there's a bunch of random settings here that you can control, use to control how the celestial body interacts with stuff.
Boxophobic Sky has a nice Baker skybox feature. Could the procedural settings be baked to a texture?
You want to try it? I think we can do it. The short answer is I think it can. Yeah.
It probably
I
take me
agree.
about 2 hours to install. Will it?
I agree with Sanyo that the moon's shadow side looks a little bit weird. The fact of the matter is that you have to compute global illumination on the moon from the rest of the skybox. You can fake that by checking emissive at the bottom, and starting to add. Oh, it looks like it uses a different texture right now. But you can now add emissive light to that other side to make it look like it's sort of being illuminated by the nebula. Though right now it's using this volcano texture.
I'm loving this. Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I was not expecting any of this.
Yeah, it's all kind of buried in there. It's the fact of the matter is that most people just don't have a use for it. But when you just sort of have a generic little lighting model you use for stuff, then you can do all sorts of things.
Darry says it's easy, just drop in a reflection probe, bake it, and then change it from probe to a cube map. Oh, there you go.
You could totally do that. Yep. There's also an HDRP utility function to bake out a sky. That I think also works. But yeah, you try either of them.
Oh man.
Yeah, pretty nuts, right?
This is mental. What happens when I stick the fog back on?
I think it should just work. Yeah, it's not quite so dense, but you're going to be above the clouds now, I think.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. I think you just double clicked on something.
Yeah, I just went. Let's go back to Manhattan. Okay.
What's going on?
What did I push? Oh, push the one.
Oh, you were in 2D mode? Okay, yeah, that's not going to work.
I was about to say, does Expanse work in 2D?
No.
One star.
Maybe one day it will, actually. I don't know. That's like a more feasible thing to support than the different render pipelines to sort of do like a false orthographic projection. But yeah.
What's the most cloudy? Because we can make Bespin now, can't we?
Yeah, if we want to. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, something like that. You can up the coverage if you want to in the modeling tab, where it says coverage intensity. If you increase that, it'll make it cloudier, and it'll make it less cloudy if you pull it down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty nuts.
How do I do the height of it?
How high it is above the ground?
Yeah.
You can use the transform. So if you want to, you can even use the gizmos on this thing.
No.
But yeah, so use that, and you can push it up and down.
No way.
Yeah, it's funny how hilarious that initially it wasn't the gizmos, it was just a setting. Yeah, you can see it when it's interacting with geometry. It's getting all funky because of the denoising.
That is awesome. Would more clouds bounce back light from the city?
That will not work, but there is a light pollution parameter that you can use to add light pollution to the clouds in a more kind of like holistic, generic way. Sadly, it's too expensive to actually compute global illumination from all the light sources in the scene.
The Dune artwork or some progressive rock album cover?
I agree with that. The prog rock album cover. It looks, yeah.
You are getting that weird. Can you see that?
Yeah. That's the temporal denoising. It's having trouble interacting with the geometry. This is kind of my next big task. If you pause it and turn that off, it'll go away.
Oh, okay, let's do that.
Yeah, go to
back to. Let me try to remember. It was in reprojection and denoising.
Yeah, so if you just uncheck that, I think that will fix that. It might have some noise now, but you can also fix that. If you want to fix the noise,
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, you can pause it again.
I love how you can do this in pausing and without it exploding.
Yeah, it's nice to. I wanted to make sure it was as interactable as possible. If you go to sampling, the one right above reprojection and denoising, and go to shadow sample jitter, and turn that all the way down to 0. That one, I think that will get rid of most of it. Oh no, there's still some from the regular sample jitter. All right, well, yeah, there's a way that you could get it to go away. And still have it look okay. The other thing you can try is turning it on and then checking neighborhood clamping at the bottom. See if that helps. And make sure that intensity is at 1. Did that help it at all?
That did it.
Okay, yeah. It might not solve it perfectly, though. There might be still be some problems. But yeah, I'm really actively working on the fly-through stuff because I know it's important to a lot of people.
I'm loving it. I'm just going to sit here mucking about for hours. Now screenshot it and mint it. Yeah, now it's an NFT.
No, it's super fun. I can tell you like 50% of what I do is I just play around with it now because it's really fun to just make weird environments.
Wow.
Try and model different clouds, that kind of thing.
And this is currently 50% off on the Unity Asset Store. I was going to ask you, so what's next on the horizon for the 3Ms? But like you're saying, it's tweaking all these little special hidden features that you've got in to make them more optimized, I guess.
Yeah, I think for me, the big thing now, so there's a couple different big features that I'm working on. One that's going to come out probably sometime in the new year, in the next week or two, is VR support.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I mean, TBD on how much of this is going to be, usable in VR, how it's going to look, how it's going to feel, right? I've got it working, and it seems like it works okay, but yeah, so VR support. And then, my main goal right now is just trying to improve stability as much as possible. I think Expanse already looks cool. It looks good. I think it has a pretty cool feature set. I just want to make sure that everything works how people expect it should. So I think my number one priority is just trying to fix noticeable bugs and artifacts. Yeah.
How do I go back to the? Should I just just discard my changes?
Yeah, see if that works. Okay, it worked.
Oh,
now we're back to this freaking thing. I don't know what this is. I don't even know what's going on there. I'm very confused by that. And now it's gonna go gray for you.
Make your moon big. Just come back down.
I'm still so surprised. I'm very surprised by it though. I don't know what's what the problem is.
What's the? Hang on, let me. I wanted to see the expression in your face. The surprised expression. Here we go. Now, how do I make it that stylized, sketchy look that you had in your video?
Okay, yeah, let's do it. First off, I don't know, maybe just, well, you can do it here too. It'll probably look better if you bring the sun over the horizon.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, just give it kind of like that poofy look. Yeah, so the deal is that Expanse is primarily sort of supposed to be more of a realistic thing, but I wanted to make sure that people who wanted to do stylized stuff had the capability of doing it. So what I did was I created an option to plug in different post-processing passes to the cloud frame buffer, and there's a couple demo ones that I wrote, and then you can use those examples to write your own post-processing passes to do whatever sort of weird painterly effects that you want to do on top of the clouds. So the way that you use them is you go over to the volumetric clouds object, and you go to post-processing. And now each post-processing pass is a scriptable object. You can hit plus and just add one, and then you can select one. So there's a bunch of different ones. Cell shading is interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You can also use the Kuwahara pass to get sort of like a oil painty type look. This is just a really simple implementation of a painterly, like the simplest painterly algorithm out there. And then for the brush strokes, yeah, you can use this recolor pass to just change the color. This is just the simplest one.
This is what we're going to do on the alien planet.
Yeah. And then alpha overlay will give you the brush strokes. But when you move the camera around,
yeah,
it's just a simple overlay.
Yeah,
so in screen space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that if you really wanted to implement like a proper painterly effect, you would like have them be procedural or something like that. I just sort of wanted to provide a couple simple examples to show people how to do this. And then if people really want super cool stylized stuff, they can plug in their own post-processing shaders that they buy somewhere else or write themselves. Yeah.
Oh, that one's lovely.
Thank you. Yeah. The Kuwahara effect is a pretty tried and true oil painty looking thing.
That's lovely. It really is beautiful.
Thank you.
Because I'm moving around and it's still looking good as I'm moving around.
Yeah, it's just an image space operation, so it's all temporally coherent. Not gonna create any problems, in that department.
And it doesn't cause you a problem with performance by adding it in.
It'll be a little bit of a hit. Like, I think because it's a pretty naive implementation of the Kuwahara filter. I think it's like 200 microseconds on my GPU or something, or it's going to take some time, but you can do it in a way that's faster.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like a pretty naive implementation. I ain't got a clue what you're talking about. It just looks really pretty to me.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, there you go. And it's not, and you're running it, and it's not destroying your frame rate. So there you go.
Oh my word! Oh, that is sexy.
Cool.
Now, I can't remember if I asked you this. I'm going to say it live on the stream to put you in an awkward position.
Yeah, do it. Put me in an awkward position.
Do you have any vouchers available? We can do a raffle for somebody to win a copy.
Yeah, I can do one. I mean, I generally you get a few vouchers every year. You
get 12 a year to last, and if you give somebody a voucher and they don't use it, you don't get like an extra one. So it's a year from when they use it. It's not a year from when you generated it, which makes it even worse.
Yeah.
So if you generated a voucher in January and the person was like, you know what, I'm going to redeem it in December, then you have to wait a whole year now for the next one to come along.
I had no idea that that's how it works. Yeah. That's insane.
It is nuts. Crazy.
Yeah,
nuts.
That's ridiculous. That's Unity being penny pinchers on that one.
So the one bit of advice I tell everyone who I speak to who's an asset publisher is go to Shopify or something like Cinti Studios do, make your own shop, you can then generate your own vouchers.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean,
and also the important thing is that you're not giving Unity 30% cut.
I know. The exposure you get on the asset store is so good.
But look,
part of it.
And I shouldn't say this because I get the affiliate 5%, yay, from Unity. But
sure,
you're still on the store, right? But as you publicize your website and your shop on the asset store page, of which you're allowed to do, people who want to support you, once they see you have your own store, will purchase the asset from your store even after they've seen you on the Unity asset store. So you get the exposure from Unity, but they will go to your store. Now, I would tell you, this is not just something I've just made up and pulling out of my backside, because hands up in chat, people who purchase from Procedural Worlds store rather than the asset store, Cinti Studios rather than the asset store, and there's actually people in chat, and I know who you are, who've purchased assets from the asset store and then gone and purchased again from the publisher's own store to help support them.
I had no idea that was legal.
Yep. Oh no, as long as you're not.
And if it is, then I should probably set something like that up, because that's a great
and just
idea.
go to Shopify and set yourself up.
Wow.
And as long as you're not undercutting for the same product,
not have to give Unity 30%.
Yeah.
Of what I make. It cuts in for sure. But yeah.
And Procedural Worlds have got a subscription model on their website,
a lot of people.
as well. So you're actually getting a monthly fee, which makes it cheaper for people. What, can you hear me? Yeah. Am I still with you? I can hear you.
Oh, did it freeze? Is it
no,
freezing?
You get it? Can you hear me? Oh no. There you go. I sat on the microphone.
Okay, I was
there's a microphone button on the headset for the mute, and I sat, and my big butt sat on it.
I was really confused. I was like, "What's going on?"
Because I can still see a beautiful face, and I can still hear your lovely voice. So as I was saying, it was Procedural Worlds now are doing you don't have to pay the full cost of the asset, which a couple of $100, whatever. You're paying a monthly fee up instead of an upfront one, but you're helping because of that monthly fee. It's a reoccurring revenue model to pay for that support.
Right. Yeah, I'd love to set up a subscription type model or a licensing thing, especially to disambiguate between studio licenses and personal licenses. That way I could offer an Expanse personal license for something like $60 regular price, and a studio license would be something like $800, and then then it would be a more fair cost model. Right now, the reason it's so expensive actually is that I have to split the difference, because Unity's asset store, they won't let you list two different versions because their EULA doesn't support it. So yeah, maybe I need to I don't know, investigate to opening my own online store for things instead.
Subscription models are either loved or hated. I know that's why many moved away from Photoshop. And the difference is a subscription model on a behemoth like Adobe versus independent developers in their bedrooms who have got a lot of support but no reoccurring revenue. So yeah, different use cases, different audiences as well. So like, once you buy Adobe Photoshop, you're not contacting Adobe for support. I purchased Photoshop many years ago. I've got a CD of it, and I've never once sent a support request over to Adobe. So I've got no reason to pay them reoccurring revenue. Whereas assets that you're trying to develop into your game or having issues, or Unity's updated, and you need to get advice or support, you are trying to get more help. So it makes sense. So the Orc says there's another difference. Adobe stopped using. Procedural World stopped paying, no more support, but you can still use it. Exactly. There's another thing, because if you stop paying for it, they don't come to your house and take away the asset. They just won't support you anymore, and that's another thing.
Yeah. Exactly. It's sort of yeah, it makes a subscription model seem a little more reasonable because you're getting constant updates, upgrades, right? And there's no way to, at some point in this industry, like there's only so many technical artists in the world, only so many game developers. And so at some point your market's kind of saturated, and there's no way you're still doing stuff, but there's no way to continue to get a revenue stream.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, I have a regular job too, right? So I can support myself in that way. And so, I try not to be too, too stingy with the Expanse stuff. But at the same time,
but the support of Expanse would cut into your free time that you've got outside of your day job.
Yeah, exactly. So there's sort of, it is work. It's the gist of it, Yeah.
And you might want to play a musical instrument again one day and not have to keep on answering people's email or Discord.
Sure, yeah, that's a reasonable expectation.
Do you have a Discord channel, like a support Discord channel?
Yeah, I can link it in the chat real quick here if anyone wants to check it out.
Send it to me on Discord, because if you know what, put it in chat, and then I'll just paste it in again, because you're not even registered on Twitch. It doesn't matter if it will block you for a minute because you haven't written anything yet. So yeah, paste it in chat, and I'll copy and paste it.
Okay, here's the invite. Yep, it's telling me to log in. So here I can just send it over DM here.
Let's have a look. What have you sent me? That's really inappropriate.
There you go. Yeah, I know, right?
There you go. Let's read what chat's saying. I'm not sure that Cynthia or Procedural Worlds are really hurting without a subscription model. Yeah, Brad's not really the same. Brad's already been destroyed by Unity for selling 100 copies of it for like $10.
It also just depends too. I mean, it's I would love to stop working my regular job and do this kind of thing full time. It's not profitable. It's not profitable enough to do that, right? And if it's going to be, then the business model kind of needs to adapt to make it something you can do as a career. Obviously, I don't really have the expectation for that, right? But I know the guys at Procedural Worlds and Cinti. I'm pretty sure a lot of those people are full time, and so whatever fees they're charging, I can't imagine that they're like printing money,
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
They got to pay people's wages. We've got to pay their rent and put food on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Desert Tiger First Tier is really good for a $10 monthly fee on Procedural Worlds. Exactly. But again, they also give loads of free stuff each month, stamper packs, but you can pay a month and walk. Better for them than downloading from a pirate store, which is only one small step away from pay a month and walk. Exactly. And you won't get updates.
Yeah.
So there's a link in chat for Brad's Expanse, and let me have a look. How many people have you got in there right now? Online, 104 people, and I recognize a lot of those names.
Yeah, I hopped into your server and I was like, oh, look at all these familiar faces. Yeah.
Yeah, don't search for Expanse in mine and read all the nasty comments.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Everyone loves you, which is really, it's disgusting to say. And like people like Joe Kizo posting, but Brad, look at me, Brad.
No, I'm lucky. I think somehow miraculously we've created like a great community, and just the kind of people who want to do creative stuff and appreciate working on, having beautiful clouds in their game and beautiful skies. They're all pretty cool people, and we've got really good energy in the Discord, and I'm super grateful for that. Yeah.
You haven't found any people want clouds but are really horrible?
No, I can't say I have.
Do you know what it is?
I mean, maybe they're probably out there.
But clouds are very soothing and give people joy. Happy little clouds.
They do. So maybe there's some kind of weird little psychological thing going on there. Oh wait, let me generate this code for us. I'm seeing people post raffle in the chat.
Do not post it in the Discord now.
Okay.
Because it won't be the first time that I've accidentally published the key live on a stream. And there's also, we're talking about how everyone's lovely. Lurking Ninja, unless you intentionally misspelt raffle, you haven't spelt raffle correctly, therefore you're not in the raffle, buddy.
That's very charitable of you.
Oh, Lurking Ninja's lovely, so Lurking Ninja needs to be told how to spell raffle. Bit Gamey loves a waffle. Lurking Ninja says, I know, I will buy it instead.
Thank you. Here, let me figure out how to do this.
So there's a reason why I tell people they have to link their Discord and their Twitch, so that the person who's won is the person who's speaking to me on Discord. When I first started, I used to do I did a massive marathon stream where we gave away about $5,000 worth of assets. There was I think it was more than that, like 10,000. It was crazy. Gave away hundreds of assets, and there were people pretending to be the winners messaging me on Discord to get the vouchers for the assets.
That's ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a low bar.
And it didn't even dawn on me that's the thing that would have happened.
Yeah, I feel like people seem to be very. I mean, look, like I said, like the bulk of my community is phenomenal, right? You do every once in a while get people who seem like they don't own the asset and they're asking for it for free, or people who seem to just want to find a way to get this stuff for free, or steal it from you, or like I said earlier, resell it,
steal it and resell it.
Yeah, which is not the greatest thing. So I don't know. Yeah.
But those are it's like the 0.1%. It's the squeaky wheel that you seem to see, but the 99.9% of people who are lovely need to be more vocal. That's what I love about my community, is that everyone isn't scared to speak. And
yeah,
so everyone's lovely, everyone's really helpful, and also there's a rule in my Discord that no personal grievances are allowed in the Discord. And there are asset publishers and customers who outside might not like each other and are, somebody who could say, I don't like this asset publisher. And if they come across that asset publisher in my Discord, they know to keep their mouth quiet and have that conversation outside. Like, don't bring your dirty laundry inside my house, because the Discord's my house. So everyone's invited in. Everyone's expected to treat each other with respect and courtesy. But you're never going to have everybody like you, and you're never going to like everyone. That's life.
Yeah, it's good to have ground rules set for any online community, right? Just to make sure that people are being treated well. And the reality of it is that some people you're just not going to get along with, and that's all right. In
saying that, we do review assets, so people give their opinion of an asset, and sometimes someone's opinion isn't going to be always roses and sunshine. They're going to be like, well, I didn't like it, but that's a personal opinion. And we've had a few asset publishers going, well, why didn't you like it? But then the discourse happens, and people communicate, and the Discord, because it's called Discord, people are chatting, and you go, oh, it was because of XYZ. Sometimes it's because it's a feature that that you're going to add, and then they go, oh, that's a good idea, I'll change that. Sometimes it was you didn't read any of the documentation, did you, or watch any of the videos, and therefore you're an idiot. It's not that you didn't like my asset, it's that you thought it was making shoes, and you've actually bought Expanse, which is a cloud asset, and it's got nothing to do with shoes. So why?
Yeah,
nobody said anything bad about you, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I mean, I think that yeah, whenever you do any kind of creative work, or whenever you make anything, you just have to be cool with people writing it off and not liking it or not giving it its fair due. Um, I think if it's really good, then most people will be receptive. And otherwise, you can't really get into a mindset where you dismiss everything negative anyone says, because 90% of that stuff is actually probably going to be, maybe not 90%, but a good chunk of it is going to be useful feedback, right?
That was
And if
very
you're really
generous with
committed
that
to
90%. That was very generous.
yeah, 90% is maybe. Well, I'm lucky. I think 90% of what I get actually is useful feedback. It's people finding bugs, people finding requesting features that are interesting and good, like, and every once in a while you get someone who just hasn't read the documentation or something and they don't know about stuff. And even sometimes when someone comes to you and says, "Why is there not XYZ?" and you're like, "It's already there." Sometimes what that means is that you've just failed to communicate that it
Yeah.
exists, right? And so
That's a good way
it
to
can be
see it.
feedback for you on, for me, I take a lot of pride in the fact that I write very thorough documentation for stuff, and consider it a priority. I'm always looking for ways to make it more accessible and have people make it more understandable, easy to parse, uh, while still being complete. And sometimes if someone comes to you and says, "I didn't know this existed," it actually still is your fault.
I should actually try reading your
yeah.
documentation sometime.
Yeah, you can, and then you can tell me all the problems with it. Yeah.
And you've got videos as well, which is important.
Videos are good. They're approachable. People like them. It humanizes you too, so people are less likely to flame you on support
I didn't think of
channels.
it like that as well, because I just think like people consume information in different ways.
That's true too, yeah.
But I didn't think it actually use it to humanize, so that people don't want to come around and murder you. That's
well, I think
good.
It's had that effect at least. Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you show people that you're a person and you talk to them in a video, then at least I think that most people are less likely to just totally bash you because they understand where you're coming from. They can empathize. So yeah, I don't know. And yeah, but yeah, I think that the primary purpose is what you said. It's that people digest information in different ways, and some people want a written tutorial, some people want a video, and it's good to just have both. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a video guy. I don't really do documentation. I'm getting in trouble now because we haven't announced the winner. Let's announce the winner. Would you like to do the drum roll noise? Because you're a musician. I'm assuming that you'd know how to make a drum roll.
I'm just tapping my hands on my desk right now.
You might need to do it closer to the microphone, because it just looks like you were doing something different.
How horrible is that?
I'm getting nothing. Like nothing at all.
I wonder if there's a filter on there.
Probably. Try making the drum roll with your mouth. Can I get a hi-hat at the end of it?
Ba-doom. All right, there you go.
The winner's Gildar.
Nice.
Congratulations, Gildar, buddy. He has a good microphone. He does have a good microphone.
Cool.
Wow. Congrats.
Okay, I've got the code here. I'm gonna.
Wait. Tell me. Just post it in the after we finished. Everyone's used to waiting for their presents. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I'll post it in our chat once the video is down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't worry
that
about
way people can't copy it down.
Yeah, because Barak Dub's in the chat. You just can't trust him.
Cool.
He just grabs all of the winnings.
He'll just take it.
Time to give HDRP a shot again, and I think that's important because most people like myself who've used HDRP before, we used it when it was, let's be polite, crap, and now it's usable. And you've proved it's usable, not only because we had the environment who always makes me load up HDRP, but look at this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this effect. I really am.
Yeah, you're using it in a really nice way. I'm glad you like it.
It's beautiful. Really is stunning. When people like you come on, it's really annoying. I have to say, it's super frustrating because I'm happy not using HDRP. And then, because I'm like, I have no reason to use HDRP, absolutely none. But then something like this, where there's no real alternative outside of HDRP, and I'm now going, oh, I'm gonna have to seriously look at HDRP. And like we mentioned before about overcloud, if I now go to the second layer, turn off that one. Where's the cloud plane? Boom. Oh, I went too high.
What happened? Oh yeah, you're
flew.
way up there now.
I'm way up.
Yeah, and the fog is starting to look weird too. Yeah, that'll happen. You got to sort of figure out what your use case.
I'm coming back. I'm flying. There we go.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that I can't really make a great prediction about the render pipeline stuff because Unity seems to just do whatever they want in that department. I will say HDRP is really the only modern rendering pipeline out of the three, right? Built-in, we know, is doomed. SRP, custom render pipelines, they might keep around for, they probably will keep around. URP is kind of like, it kind of has its hands chopped off a little bit. There's just stuff that's unsupported. The HDRP, though, the problem is that HDRP still doesn't support mobile, right? And it's not going to anytime soon, ever, probably. So I don't know. They're probably gonna have to. They're not gonna. I don't know. They're gonna use.
So you're stuck though, aren't you?
URP around. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. But I do think that what I'm saying is that HDRP is the only engine out of the three that's gonna allow them to keep pace with competitors like Unreal. And I think because of that, they're gonna continue to invest more time into it. So I think that it's a sort of safe bet to build a game with it right now, and plan on some continued support over the next couple of years, unless they just throw it all in the garbage, right?
There's still a load of broken assets that were built for exactly. There's a load of broken assets that were built for earlier versions of HDRP, like many of Unity's own art assets that aren't even compatible with later versions of HDRP, which is always fun.
You got to be super careful with HDRP. Expanse, like, there have been moments where I've sort of thought about using a Unity construct to do something, and instead I just roll my own version, and lo and behold, it becomes obsolete in the next Unity version. So if you want to create a stable Unity asset, you can't rely on Unity's APIs not changing, because they will.
Towie says, I think 12x has terrain detail. So it's about Yellow saying no terrain detail. So wait for 12x to be the stable version.
I use nature renderer for terrain detail when I want to do that. Instance, grass or whatever, and it's pretty fast. It's pretty good.
Well, don't take it personally, but I'm still on built-in. But if I am ever doing anything HDRP, I will throw the Expanse in, and I'm calling it the Expanse from now on.
No pressure. I mean, I think everyone's got to use the rendering pipeline that works for them. I mean, navigating this whole thing is such a mess that if you can come out alive, then that's a success.
There's a nice comment. I mean, Brit Gaming's said, using different RPs, I'm still sold and built in for now. And Yonin says, that's the problem. You can't build a game and expect to maintain it if they're still constantly breaking the APIs. Now, if you are making your game, lock down your version of Unity.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Doesn't matter if they're changing. That's the version that you're going to stick with for your game.
Yeah, I think people get tempted by the upgrades to Unity and also to different assets and bug fixes and stuff that they see. and so they think that they can sort of do a rolling accept of new versions. I've never made a game before, like a big game that's completed. So I can't really, I don't have any experience to speak to this, but it seems to me like if you're doing that, like just pick a Unity version, and if something doesn't work, kind of like live with it. It seems like it'd make the process a lot easier. I don't know. Um, because trying to roll in new versions is just like,
Yeah.
they change a lot from update to update.
Yeah, and I'm not referring to just the version of Unity, because Big Game is saying not just the version of Unity. Exactly. I'm talking about everything. So when you go to the package manager, and go to, and where is it? My God, it's going to take 20 minutes now, isn't it? Hold on, inspector.tick. Oh my God.
Phenomenal.
I love it. I love Unity now that you spend more time looking at a hold on window than you do anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You know what's funny is that it's improved. That used to shader variants used to take a super long time to compile, and it just booted up 2021.2, and it's a lot faster now. So it seems like there's low hanging fruit.
There's still people using Unity 5. Exactly. And when we spoke with SpeedTutor, he was like, well, when he was making his game, the first version of his game, he couldn't change. You know, it was locked down. So it was like an old version of Unity 5 that he was using, and that's it. So yeah, all of these, once you start, that's it. Lock in, stick to them. Don't change any of them, because that's what you're using. If you are, then do it as a separate project and see what's breaking when you do. But yeah, be careful.
Exactly.
They will never have all features built. Continuous development is like that.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, Brad, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This has been super fun. Like, it's awesome to see you like just
break
using
it.
the tool and doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, and look,
exactly.
and break
that
it.
helps, because you got free
found,
QA.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Now,
I need it, seriously.
We're not sure if it was just me or it's actually, I'll help you recreate that off stream another time as well. See how we can just recreate those little special hidden features that you've made inside Expanse.
Yeah, if we can fix them, then that'd be awesome. Yeah,
because mostly those are Unity issues that we're experiencing. They're not really related to Expanse per se. I'm going out on a limb and say that, but let's try to see. I guess I'm trying to say, if you're locking in now, you're locking to built-in, pretty much. Yeah, I agree with you. So if you are locking in, although Dowie said yes on Tuesday's stream that HDRP version 10, he would say production ready, but version 12 not production ready. So there you go. If you are going to play about with it. I'm glad you had fun. That's the important thing, Brad.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it's an honor to be on here.
It's an honor to have you. You're awesome, and everyone loves you. You were one of those people that people kept pinging me saying, "When are you going to have the Expanse on?"
Well, we did it. It wasn't a sci-fi TV show.
Well, I wasn't sure which one they meant, but I went with you.
Okay, I'm glad. It would have been tough to maybe.
Barak says, "Brad, you are awesome. Your asset is too. Much respect."
Thanks, Barak. Yeah.
Stella says, "You are super nice."
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And he's not just 12. He's actually was it 25? You said? Was what?
24.
24.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
How old? Can I ask how old you are, Tony?
I am in my 60s.
Really?
No.
I don't even know. I can't even tell. All I've got is this little drawing to go off of.
This is my real face. I've got a skin condition. What are you talking about?
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Going straight in there with the insults.
I'm sorry.
You have a lovely smile, and your asset is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to. If you're ever doing it again, I'd love to come on again. We can break more stuff or talk about different. We just kind of scratched the surface of the stuff you can do with Expanse. So
yeah,
we can even put together a more full-featured demo and do that.
Can we get some more links to the Expanse in chat? There we go. Cool. You know what? Let's actually throw up the page. Why is the browser? I've tried to put the browser on, and instead it's just put a frame around your face.
Interesting. Oh yeah, look, there I am on a little MacBook.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
so
gone.
there you go.
Cool.
There you go. That's even though you are beautiful, this is what people came to see.
Yeah, this is what we need. This.
This is what I want. And it's currently on a 50% sale over on the Unity Asset Store. Do not forget that when you are paying for your asset, you are putting bread on Brad's table. So
Yep.
do it. Do it now. And you know what? Why not wait until after the sale and pay full price, $120? You know, if you've got it, if you're a multimillionaire and you're sitting there wondering what should you spend your money on, how about a Patreon page, Brad, where people can support you?
I've been thinking about that. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll get that set up sometime in the next week or two. Yeah, I've been taking a little bit of a break around the holiday, but I'm back in a few days here. So yeah, maybe I'll get that set up. Yeah.
And then what you could do, right, is because you're a musician, as part of the Patreon gifts, if somebody joins you on Patreon, you could sing them a little song.
There we go. That'll be a reward.
And you thought you escaped it, but you haven't. And as it's the end of the stream, can you please give me 3 lines of your favorite Christmas song?
Oh my God. Okay, let me think about which one it is. I can't even think of my favorite Christmas song. I don't even know.
Yeah, you can. Okay, I'll do you. Give me 3 lines of White Christmas or Rudolph with the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No, White Christmas is good. Let's do that
Okay,
one.
yeah.
Okay. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Na 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 na. Na. There, all right, that's it. That's the end.
Why did it turn into a song about bananas at the end?
Banana. It's actually the original version of White Christmas. It's called Banana Christmas.
I love it. It's better. It's even better than the non-conformist version. I like it.
Yeah.
Buddy, thank you so much for coming on. You are beautiful.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Tony. Yeah, anytime.
Oh, I can't wait to have you back. And I wonder what you're going to sing next.
Well, I promise you, I will not know until the second that you ask me to do it.
Catch you later, buddy.
All right. See you later, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. All right.
What a beautiful badger. What a beautiful badger. Love him to. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now. And down below, there's that big juicy subscribe button. And right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.